Okay, why don't we go ahead and get started here today? It occurs to me when I came up last time for the first time, I neglected to formally introduce myself. My name is Brad Cyphers. I'm your new vice president. Thank you, and thank you for your confidence in me. I appreciate that. So, as Mark decided to throw me in the deep end here and have me run the meeting for the first time tonight. So, got your life ring there, Mark. Bail me out if I need to be. Okay, so why don't we go ahead and get started with the Pledge of Allegiance. Everybody all rise, hats off. I pledge allegiance to the flag
of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Okay, so first off, is there anybody here for this whom this is their very first GS2AC meeting? Oh, look at all the people. Could you come up and just say hello to us, please? Could you all come up and just say hello? We'd just like to be able to see who's here and just kind of introduce yourselves and give your name and what brought you down here, yeah?
Hello, my name is Toby, and I'm the owner of Toby's Tactical Firearm Shop, working on moving to Sunnyvale, which I hear is going to be a lot of trouble.
Good evening, I'm Jerry Bergstresser, and my blood pressure goes up every time I read the newspapers about gun control, so I figured I'd do something about it.
Good plan.
Derek Froning, native born California, just have loved guns my whole life and want to continue to be able to pass it to the next generation.
Hi, my name is Connie Bedard. That's my husband, Michael. This is our first time, and we just care about everything about the Constitution, and this is one part of it.
Good evening, I'm Gary Lawrence, native San Jose. I was at the local gun show and picked up some literature and thought I'd come down and help join you guys. So that's great.
Hi, my name is Glenn Schuler. I'm owner of Pleasure Boat Specialties. I'm a member of Cal Guns, and I saw on their web that we had the opportunity to hear Mr. Hoffman speak tonight, so we thought we'd come down. See what you're about.
Hi, Peter Jepson. I'm native San Jose also, and I'm only here because Al told me to come and check it out. Since I like guns, so he was kind of pushing
I'm David. I'm native California. Just wanted to hear Hoffman speak and see what's going on with the gun stuff in the state right now. That's great.
It's great to see all these new faces here tonight. Hopefully, we'll get to see you come back for some more meetings. So. And the barbecue, yes, absolutely. Okay, so tonight we're going to go over. Okay, we want to talk to them first. Okay, fair enough. So we've got a couple of people that we haven't seen here for a while, and maybe one that wants to give us an action report. So, Guy Smith, where's Guy? There he is. Just wanted to see what you've been doing lately, and give us a few words of encouragement there.
Thank you much. Good to see you guys again. A couple of quick pieces of news. My wife and I have moved down to San Jose, so you are now stuck with us. If you weren't aware of it, version 6.2 of GunFacts is now available. If you have not already downloaded it, shame on you. 3, we recently had our GunFacts fundraiser. If you did not come by the website and donate money, shame on you. You can still go to Amazon.com, buy a copy of the book, that'll help. There is a copy of the book on the raffle table tonight, including some leftover merchandise from the fundraiser. And the big news, we raised enough money in the fundraiser that we have hired a techie out of India. God help me for doing that. But hopefully within a year, we will have the website up in a Wikipedia format. We are going to bring in more editors to update the information in real time. Make sure this information is searchable by Google. Make sure it is displayable on your smartphone, and basically try to get this information into more hands than ever before. So thank you much.
Okay, also we have Rob Chang from Templar Sports here. Rob, you want to talk about the Silvers and Moscato?
I just want to thank you guys again. This has been a long process for us for the last year and a half, and the continued support. We had a meeting last week at the town. They basically glanced over a 9-page draft and passed it in terms of introducing it as possible legislation to become town code. And so, it's kind of basically a already given outcome, unfortunately, if you were at the meeting. Want to just thank those people that are here who showed up. Actually, it was good. Once again, we outnumbered speakers, 25, against the ordinance and 10-4, and, it just fell to deaf ears in terms of the town council, unfortunately. The worst part of this, I've got some copies of the ordinance if anyone's interested in it. The worst part of this is that they've gone back on their word when they said, you have a monopoly, we'll grandfather you in, don't worry about it. They've done exactly the opposite of that. And so, we're seeing a thing like in Sunnyvale. If people aren't aware, Sunnyvale's kind of going backwards versus forwards in terms of what they did a few years back and had the courage to say, no, we don't need these regulations, state and federal is good enough. So what's happening now is in August, there's no town council meetings in July. In August, they bring back this draft ordinance and they vote on it, they amend it, or they don't pass it. It's pretty much 99% going to pass. And the hardest part for our business is it's going to be retroactive, which means within 60 days, I'm going to have to apply for this permit and go through this process to stay in business this year. So it's not even introduction of 2014, you apply to it. It's basically, they get a do-over to try to approve or disapprove of our business. So we just ask you to continue to look out for the email blast, come out and support us. It's still, kind of up in there. We do have council looking at this. It's obviously has a lot of controversy in terms of how it's written, but just want to, again, thank you guys for supporting us. And
yeah, if you do end up bringing a lawsuit and you need a plaintiff, amicus,
we have a couple.
Please let us know.
Thank you. Yeah, so just continue to support us. Jess Guy, who's been helping us with part of our public stuff. The biggest thing you can do is show up to those meetings. I mean, we had one meeting where there was 50 protesters against us and 450 for us. What that did is it made them have 2 or 3 more meetings to draw out the process to recognize that, wow, maybe this isn't a great decision. So we've noticed due to the summer and people's busy schedules, attendance has dropped. But come August and September, if we can get that attendance back up, it still does help our cause. And maybe it prevents other towns from starting this process or doing similar things if they see that outpouring. So once again, thanks for your support.
When are those clowns up for election?
We're looking into that. Actually, the mayor's rotation, because they don't vote citywide, it just rotates amongst the town council members, and the vice mayor, who's probably one of the most outspoken ardent kind of against us, is up this fall to become the mayor of the town. So that's a huge, it's kind of a rubber stamp. There's no public input. Basically, the council members vote for themselves. So that's coming up, and we're looking into the exact re-election, and we'll update you guys with that information.
Thanks, sir.
Thanks. I was at that meeting, and I was also at the Sunnyvale meeting last Tuesday, and both were frustrating. Sunnyvale, it was 5-2 instead of unanimous. At least we had a couple of people that were on our side. It was 2.5. One was on the edge, but he finally went with the anti-gunners anyway. So it's frustrating out there, but it's no reason to stop trying. You got to keep pushing. And that's what we're here for. So anyway, moving on. Meal receipts. So if you had a meal tonight, we appreciate that, the support, but in order for that to count towards this room, we need you to submit your receipts to us so that we can turn them in. So when you come down, there's a box right by the register, but if you didn't turn it in there, if you could turn it in either in the back or up here to one of us, we'd appreciate the help there. Next step, the business report. So we've got barbecue coming up, as you all know, most of you know. In 3 weeks, we sold out half the tickets. We're going to be selling them out probably this month, I would say. Yeah. So if you want a ticket, you need to, or tickets, you need to get on it. Hopefully tonight, so we can be sure you get a spot out there. Kids love it. It's great for. There's lots of stuff to do. The food is great. Got tri-tip, burgers, hot dogs. It's very good. Oh, sir.
We are on ticket 131.
131 out of 200, so we're more than half sold out. So, just FYI. So hopefully everybody can make it. Mr. Let's see, is this doing the reports? Yes. So Mr. Secretary, Mr. Jorgensen.
Yay! No?
Boo hiss. Boo hiss, sir. I was going to talk a little bit about a new phenomenon that's going on, has been going on for a few years now. It's called state nullification. State nullification of federal law. Now, I'm not a lawyer, you know that, so this is just me and what I've read. But it's interesting because it looks like it actually started in California. California with the, and doesn't matter which side of the issue you're on, started off with the medical marijuana initiative. And the medical marijuana initiative was an attempt to nullify federal law. Federal law makes it illegal to possess marijuana, and California passed this law, and actually several other states have done the same thing. And what has happened is that I believe in California that the local police, the state police, do not try to enforce these laws on medical marijuana, and it is left up to the federal government to try to enforce them. Well, the same sort of thing is happening right now with gun rights. Several states around the country have been passing laws in various forms that try to nullify federal law. Montana, I think, was the first. We've got Kansas, Missouri, I think is still contemplating theirs. Oklahoma, I'm not sure about Texas. The most recent one is Alaska. And I think Alaska is an interesting one because basically what they have said is that they're not going to enforce federal law. They will not allow their law enforcement people to enforce federal firearm laws in their state. And if the feds want to do that, they're going to have to do it themselves. Alaska's a pretty big state. I really doubt they can do it. So it's an interesting thing, and I think if you look back at the constitutional history, it doesn't have any validity. I mean, there's nothing in the Constitution. Madison and Thomas Jefferson, and I don't know, at the turn of that century, whatever it was, 19th century, had tried to press this issue. States could nullify, since the states granted the Constitution, they could obviously nullify laws that they didn't think applied to the Constitution. It really didn't hold up. In the end, what has happened is the federal, excuse me, the federal courts have taken over that role. And it will be interesting to see how this all works out. The federal court said California's marijuana law is not valid, but California considers it valid. So again, it's back to the other thing, there was a Supreme Court decision several years ago I believe it was Sheriff Mack was the one who was involved in it, where he said the federal government cannot require local law enforcement to enforce their laws. And the Supreme Court upheld that. So I think this is a tact that we can see more of across the country. I would really like to see a whole lot more states get on board with this issue. Yeah, go ahead, Alan.
I would like to add something to that, that when the states are nullifying, juries would really be the key, because juries actually have the right to nullify laws. In fact, that's probably why the feds have not pushed any criminal cases here in California about marijuana, because they know that the juries will use jury nullification. They have the right to determine whether the law is good. And of course, on gun rights in places like Montana, that'll happen too.
That comes
and
out
they know
of English common law that we actually had before we had a U.S. Constitution.
Absolutely.
When you're a juror in the Superior Court of the State of California, you serve the State of California, and you do not serve the federal government. That's the whole basis for it. Where it comes from.
Yep. Okay. Gordy?
This is all spelled out in the 10th Amendment very clearly. Those rights not specified and enumerated in the Constitution for the federal government are reserved to the states and the people thereof. Now, all of these laws, like the marijuana laws, for example, these are federal laws and they're not applicable to the states. That's a right reserved to the states. That right doesn't exist for the federal government. There's nowhere in the Constitution that says the federal government has a purview over these things, including the income tax code.
You're right. Unfortunately, the federal courts aren't following that line of reasoning though right now.
They don't count. Don't pay attention to them.
I understand. I understand. Go ahead. Anybody else? Okay, I'll pass the baton back to Brad.
I guess I skipped myself there for Vice President's report. So last meeting I was asking if there's anything we can do to help you guys, to help us, to talk to get the message out to the legislators. And we talked about sending out weekly email blasts, and I believe that's going on right now. And so I hope you guys are getting something out of that. I hope you guys are seeing things, and it's prodding you to actually call, write your legislator, fax them. Even an email is better than nothing, but calling or writing actually does a better job. So hopefully that's working out for everybody, and we're glad to have everybody on the list. So, treasurer report, yes.
Yay!
Okay, so legislative report. Okay.
Very briefly. First of all, ladies and gentlemen, how many of you have called your legislator, written your legislator? How many of you called more than once? How many of you called 3, 4, 5, 6 times? I'm saying that not out of spite, but to piss them off, okay? Call them more than once. There's a lot of crap coming down from the state. Bad stuff. You need to call. You need to write. And as Sam Perez said last time, emails, bulk delete. Send a letter. Even if something as simple as, I urge you to oppose XYZ. Signed, addressed, sent, do it. And you gotta do it now because there's a pile of crap coming down. Yes, sir?
In particular, I've been calling Senator Steinberg's office, and I don't just say no to a certain bill. I start asking him questions about the California condor breeding captivity site. I've basically been harassing him, asking him, are you testing the soil there for lead accumulation since it's a closed environment? Are you testing the water supply, plumbing pipe for lead solder? Are you testing this? Are you testing that? Because for all we know, if there is a lead problem, it's right there in the captive breeding site, and that's where it started. And they don't like the fact that I'm asking these questions. I've been hung up on several times by their office for doing so.
You're doing the Lord's work.
Don't just say no, ask some questions.
The more time we are on the phone with them, the less time they have for mischief with other people. And, well, think about it. Think about it. The more time they have to spend with people like us, the less time they get to talk to other people. Okay? It's called a filibuster. We need to filibuster them. If you have not seen one of these, we published it last time. It's out there again in yellow. You'll see some high names highlighted. These are the local people. You call them. If you don't want to mail them, that's fine too. In the phone book, you're going to find their addresses. Mail them. Not just once, twice, 3 times. Postcards are fine. They've got to answer that kind of stuff. But do it. Do it. Second, anyone here know in the state of California what a super majority is? Do you know why they're putting all this crap through on resistance? They got a super majority. They can do whatever they want as long as they ride herd on their people. Well, they have a chink in their armor. They're in the Senate. Basically, they're down to about 2 names. One of those names resigned earlier this year, and there's a special election going on. We can knock off 1/2 of their supermajority margin. There's an orange flyer up there. The gentleman's name is Andy Vidak. He actually won the majority vote in his special election, but because he didn't come quite close enough for the majority, he has to have a runoff. The runoff is in July. We can impact that race by calling on his behalf. Get this flyer. It's orange. Break the anti-gun supermajority in Sacramento. The lady's on here. Contact her. Send her an email. Get a couple numbers and call the people. It does not take long to dial 20 numbers. And in a place like this district, if 100 people from our end dial 20 numbers, the impact is huge. This is a chance to stick a sharp stick in the eye of the supermajority. Don't pass it up. You need to take advantage of this. If you haven't grabbed one of these flyers, grab it, call, and then take advantage of helping it. Make this stuff stop. Also, on the good side, I've got a bunch of flyers out here on stupid stuff that's going on. Believe it or not, the Crossroads of the Gun Show is being sued because according to the city of San Francisco, if you have a repair kit, you're now encouraging people to violate the high-capacity magazine law. Go figure. Victory in Nevada. A bunch of gunners peppered the governor and stopped bad legislation. Follow their lead. It can be done here. Common sense laws. Got an 11-year-old suspended from school for merely talking about a gun. He basically said, hey, I wish I had a gun. I would have stopped that shooting. Okay, suspended. That's common sense gun law. Common sense gun law. You got a teen who wore an NRA t-shirt. The cops arrested him and they're now threatening him with a year in jail because he wouldn't take off his NRA t-shirt. Where? Virginia. It's a flyer up there. Go pick up the flyer. It's the information there. You know, the Obama administration, Senator Kerry, you know Senator Kerry. Mr. I got a splinter, so I have a purple heart. You know? It's like that clown in Congress today. He got it written down. Okay? He hurt his foot playing football in prep school, so now he's getting a VA benefit. Same kind of idiot. He's not saying in the UN that the United States will sign the Arms Trade Treaty. Oh, gun control under Obama. Firearm thefts are up 26.4% under his administration. Don't you feel wonderful? Bottom line, ladies and gentlemen, there's a lot of work that we need to do and can do. But many hands make the burden light, and you've got to take a stand. We're at the edge. There's a lot of stuff going on. You can impact it, you can't stop it. Yes, ma'am.
We have someone speaking on KSCO radio in Santa Fe. His name is Tim Donnelly. He's assemblyman right now.
Jan? I'm sorry, could you stand up? I can't hear you. I'm sorry, thank you.
Assemblyman Tim Donnelly. He's running for governor. His 3 biggest issues are taxes, pro-gun, and illegal immigration. His website is
He has spoken on KSCO as well. Finally, for those people who are here for the very first time, if we do not have you on our contact list to tell you about our barbecue and stuff like that, please let me know. I want to get you one of these. Basically, and for a normal month, we send out one email blast to notify the meeting, one phone blast for the meeting. If there's crisis up, we'll send you something. We try to avoid pounding people with email because we know you get pounded. But we need to know how to get a hold of you. Simple stuff like a legible name, legible phone number, legible email, and the county in which you live, so we know how to separate these things. Is there anyone for whom that did not sign up on one of these things whose first night? Please let me know. I want to get you to it. Final thing. I was contacted by a radio personality on KSCO. He has indicated that he would like to set up a group in Santa Cruz, similar to what we do here. We have a couple members here from that area, and they're interested in it. But if you know other people in the Santa Cruz area, Monterey, Watsonville, Seaside, Salinas, whatever, let me know. There's no reason we can't spread out and create other groups and help them get started and do the same thing we do up here. Worst comes to worst, they'll create a group, we'll have an annual softball game, barbecue cook-off, water balloon fight, whatever you want to call it. And barbecue we already talked about. Oh, and remember, kids at the barbecue, if you know nephews, nieces, grandkids, kids 12 and under, I get them in for free, okay? Free. Free hot dog lunch, free all the stuff to do, and the safety training. Don't forget, safety training is the kicker. We got to make sure they get safety training, plus fun with bow and arrows and stuff like that. Thank you.
Thank you, Mark. So, let's see, is Fred here? Fred who? I don't see him, okay.